Hey guys, welcome to the Profit Channel. Today we're going to talk about something really important. So there's a lot of debate going on whether gold is a good asset compared to Bitcoin. So obviously, just stick around to the end of the video where I will tell you what my preference is. But just to touch on some points, so um, gold obviously we'll start with gold. So gold is something that is mined. There is a lot of it still to be mined. It is difficult and it's becoming more difficult and more costly to mine. But um, so Barrick Gold, being one of the biggest gold miners out there, they recently just uh, said that they have about 10 years worth of gold reserves right now. So for the next 10 years. Also with gold, so it's not really something that there's not an infinite amount, right? So there's a lot of it around, and it is very difficult to transport gold. So for example, if I want to take like $1 million worth of gold from here to another country, it would be very difficult. It would be very costly because you would have to pay a lot of money for that. So it's not very practical. And plus, if you're keeping gold, the security of it is questionable. And during the history, gold has been confiscated so many times. It's been seized. There's been wars because of gold. Uh, the carbon that gold mining produces as compared to Bitcoin is astronomical. It's crazy. It's like hundreds of percent more than Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin, they're saying, oh, it consumes a lot of electricity and it's like the mining power that needs to keep the nodes going and all that is the same as powering Nigeria, for example, like a whole country. So to me, gold has its value. So I'm not against gold, obviously. So the gold bugs out there. Um, uh, I'm not against it. It does have some kind of value that it holds. It has gone up in price, but really slowly, right? Like it's not something that is volatile. It's like, for example, like gold 10 years ago, if you invested in gold compared to what you would have now, is almost, it's not worth it. But if you put that money into Bitcoin 10 years ago compared to now, would be crazy how much money you would have had right now, right? Um, and also with gold, it's people are like, okay, but why can't you keep gold in a safety deposit box? Well, you could, but the problem is that safety deposit box are not insured. So if you lose your gold or the bank goes down under, uh, it's gone. Like it's not insured, right? So that's a big problem. And plus, how much gold are you going to be keeping around? Like if you want to travel, you can't. It's not practical, right? But it does have a store of value. So that's why I said I'm not against gold. I would actually probably advise people to diversify into gold, some of their money. If you have some money, so say you have like $10,000, I would probably ask you to buy. And when I say gold, I mean the physical gold. I don't mean the gold stocks. I don't mean the minor stocks or anything like that. That's all garbage. So that's what I would do. If I had $10,000, I would invest half of it in Bitcoin, half of it in gold. That's what I would do. Into physical gold, that is, right? So uh, gold is good. It's been around for 3,000 years or more. Uh, it's held its value. So in that sense, yeah, it's good. It makes sense. But now when it comes to Bitcoin, uh, the only bad thing about Bitcoin is that these regulations, right? Like that's the one thing that if they start regulating and they ban it because they think that it's some kind of a threat to the monetary system, then that is a big, that's when Bitcoin is going to go underground, right? Um, but then when it comes to Bitcoin now, the practicality, like a lot of people say, well, Bitcoin is a currency. It's not. It's not a currency because it's far from. It's a store of value. That's what it is, right? Um, for example, like if I have $1 million, like I said, $1 million in gold, if you were to, so we'll use the same example. So say if I have $1 million in Bitcoin, now all I have to do is transfer that over from an exchange to a hard wallet, right? And all I have to do is just put the keys in my head, and now no one can seize it. I can easily just travel to another country and it's in my head, and then I can transact with that. So I can go to an exchange there, put it back on exchange, and then change it into something else, like a fiat, and then bring that back into my account if I wanted to do that. Or nowadays, with all these retailers, and now you can buy houses with Bitcoin, you can buy cars with Bitcoin, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. So for me personally, like I think that, and with Bitcoin there is an infinite, like okay, so it has 21 million coins that can only be mined, and nothing more, nothing less. So, and as we go towards that 21 million, it becomes harder for it to be mined, so it becomes more difficult. With gold, if the gold prices go up, the miners increase their production because there's more money in it and there's more supply. With Bitcoin, the mining becomes so difficult that it's not as easy as gold, right? So it becomes so much harder. And as the mining cost, so to mine a Bitcoin used to be like $4,000, then it was $11,000, and then it's much more now. So if it goes higher, the price, then it becomes more difficult also, because as you're approaching that 21 million, so it's a scarce asset, right? So for people to say, oh well, they can create, no, they can create more, and it is the most secure um, asset that there is, because it cannot be hacked. So it can only be hacked if you put it on an exchange and you leave it there, and then that exchange ends up getting hacked. Even though now some of the exchanges, they're more, they have insurance, so they insure the money and all that, but still, a lot of them are unregulated, and so that's a problem. Like but if you keep that Bitcoin off exchanges, or in a hard wallet, then it is impossible, because there are thousands of computers around the world that are running nodes, and the system is keeping track of it, so that it can be hacked. There's no way you can hack Bitcoin. And then, so say now, let's just say I want to send someone Bitcoin over in another country. It would take me a couple of minutes, and I don't need a bank for it. It can just right away go over there with the Lightning Network and all that. Almost instantly, I can send it with not much fees. Now imagine if I have to send someone gold. You see what I'm saying? Like that becomes very, very, very difficult. Um, that is one of the biggest problems when it comes to gold. Now, uh, the reason why a lot of the gold bugs are into gold is because they bought gold a long time ago. So they have no choice but to like be really, really, strong, have strong feelings about gold, and very easily get offended by another asset class that's going to come in now and take uh, market share from gold, because there's a lot of companies right now, like Tesla, for example, has $1 billion in Bitcoin. There is MicroStrategy with Michael Saylor that has billions of dollars invested in Bitcoin. It's becoming almost like a fashion now for these big blue chip companies, big companies, to, if they have $100 billion in cash sitting on their balance sheet, it is almost becoming a fashion for them to invest some of it in Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin, it's only going up in price, and there's only a limited amount, unlike gold. So any company in the future that has gold, has Bitcoin on their balance sheet, it's going to be a lot more attractive to investors, because they're going to say, okay, well, yeah, they have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. That's a good thing. The only company that I know of, besides like mining companies and all that, that has gold on their balance sheet is um, Palantir. So Palantir is the only company that invested $50 million into gold just before the crisis happened, and that's one of the reasons why I am also invested in Palantir, because um, they're very smart, and also Tesla. So indirectly, I have ETFs that I'm invested in that has Tesla along with like 500 other big companies in it. uh, they all um, they're all assets. These are all asset classes, and in my opinion, you should be. So this is obviously not financial advice, so don't do or say what or do what I tell you to do. I'm just explaining what I am doing. So in my opinion, I think you should have all your um, investments spread. So diversification is the key. So if you have some money, put it in gold. If you have some money, put it in Bitcoin. And don't go and start buying these other coins that are like, there's like 17,000 or 1,700 or something coins out there. Like, don't invest into the stuff that are like pump and dumps. But Bitcoin is gonna be around. It's been around. The only difference between gold and Bitcoin is that gold has been around for so long that it's kind of proven itself. Uh, but then it's proven itself, but it's been just like going like this, right? So if you invested in gold like 10 years ago, it hasn't gone like up that much. But Bitcoin, on the other hand, is going up almost 196% um, year over year. So in 2009, um, when it was invented, uh, Bitcoin was like 8 cents or something. And as we speak right now, Bitcoin is like, I don't know, like 46,000 dollars or so. So uh, yeah, I mean, it is volatile, but it's becoming more volatile, less volatile right now, Bitcoin, because there was a point where it would have like swings up and down, whatever, but it's becoming more stable now. It's actually surprisingly very stable right now, as compared to some other assets like stocks. Some stocks have gone down like 40%, 60%, some 90%. So in that sense, you have to be diversified. That's my opinion. Me myself, I uh, like, if I was to uh, name one superior asset class, it would have to be real estate. By far, real estate. 97% of the world's wealthiest people or families have made their money through real estate. Okay, so you have to be invested in real estate. That's number one. And then from there, if you have some disposable income, then you invest some of it into Bitcoin, some of it into gold, some into like a ETF, some into stocks. Then you invest into tangible assets that are not going to be produced anymore. For example, uh, like these classic cars, right? They're not making any more of those stuff, and they're going to be always in demand. And if anything, they're going to go up in price. So these are the things that I believe differentiate between asset classes, and that's why. Like I know some of the gold bugs are going to be pretty mad. Like especially people like Peter Schiff. This guy, like, he's so misinformed, and he has like a tunnel vision, and all he's seeing is gold, gold, gold. But gold hasn't done much, man. It's gone up, yeah, a little bit, but not as much as Bitcoin. Like, you can't compare that to Bitcoin or like Ethereum or anything else, for that matter. So always invest in a safe manner. Always diversify, but I just wanted to quickly touch base on some of the differences between the two. And in my opinion, Bitcoin is going to go a lot higher. So once this regulation kicks in, and they're going to regulate it because they can't really, ban it. It's not like an American thing. This is like a global thing. So there's no way that they can just turn around and say, well, Bitcoin is banned, because that's what China did. And any country that, in my opinion, bans Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies is going to be falling behind. So, uh, countries like El Salvador, they made it into their currency. So that's the smartest thing that they've done, because it you know that if something they're not making any more of is only going to go up in price, right? Because there's always going to be demand for that. And think about it, like, everything is moving digital. Like, if 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I told you that, we're not going to be using post office anymore, or 100 and something years ago, if I told you that, like, we can't use pigeons or people for sending messages, you would be mad. You would say, well, that there's no way that anything else can replace that. But guess what? Then came mail, where we would write stuff and it would get posted. Then when that was happening, if I told you that there's going to be a system, a digital system, where you can instantly send uh, a message to someone else, you would have not believed it. But guess what? That is happening. So everything is moving digital. The shopping is being done digitally. I think that the currencies for all countries are going to move into a digital form, because they need to obviously track exactly what you're doing. So the government needs to obviously see where you're spending your money, how much you have, and all that. But in my opinion, I believe that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin can also coexist with that, um, because it's something global, and it's something that they're not gonna ban, because it's gonna be a problem. People are gonna get really mad. Gold, yeah, gold. They've confiscated gold, um, you know, and that's not turned out too good, because a lot of people died and all that. But anyways, I don't want to make this video too long, but I just wanted to um, say that at the end, I am not against gold. So for all the gold bugs, I'm not against gold. I like gold. Uh, but if I was to bet on something, it would probably be something digital, because everything is moving into a digital form. It would be Bitcoin, because it is verifiable. It is, you can't hack it, you can't seize it, you can easily transport it. You don't need a bank. Speaking of bank, there's over 2 billion people that are unbanked. So they don't have access to a bank, or they can't go and open a bank account. But guess what? With a phone, with like a smartphone, now you have a bank. Now you have a bank. All you have to do is just open a wallet, and you can transact with somebody. You can send them, exchange value. So someone comes and builds you a house. You live in Ghana or Nigeria or somewhere, or Afghanistan. They don't have access to, well, boom, right away you send them some money with Bitcoin. So for all of those reasons, and there's so much more right now that obviously I'm forgetting, because unlike some people that write it down and they go by the script, I'm just freestyling right now. So I'm not, this is all up here. Um, and I hope you guys liked the video. If you do, please like and subscribe. I need about 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you do that. And that would encourage me to make more videos, spread the knowledge, um, as well as, if, like I said, if this channel, I've said this before, but if this channel monetizes, um, I will donate the money to charity. So keep that in mind as well. And if you need to buy crypto, or if you need to buy stocks, I'm gonna link some below, a couple of places that you can buy it from. So that way you get some money or some free stocks, and I'll get something which will go to the charity. So yeah, please, it takes only a second to like the video, so the algorithm can spread the video to other people and spread the word, which would be beneficial for all of us. Um, uh, and subscribe too, so that when there's more videos that I make, you guys will get notified of it. Anyways, okay, guys, take care.